The drama's over for another night, and all over the country people head for the kitchen to make a nice cuppa. But as we flick the on switch in our millions, stress increases for others. All those people who run the national grid are faced with a huge surge in demand for power. You need a virtually instantaneous boost in electricity supply. Conventional power stations take hours to come on stream. So what to do? The answer lies in Snowdonia, home to misty mountains, lovely valleys, and some very clever people who make sure that the kettles will always boil without the lights going out.
We're about 10 seconds to go from 0 megawatts to 1800 megawatts, which is probably around the sort of demand of Wales for the time being.
So what's the secret? This is one of the most remarkable engineering projects this country has ever seen. Locally, it's known as Electric Mountain. The Electric Mountain's proper name is Dinorwig, a massive hydroelectric power station which can cope with sudden surges in demand. It's hidden inside a mountain called Eladir within Europe's largest man-made cave. With a couple of plastic pop bottles and some tubing, I'll show you how one of the industrial wonders of the world generates all that power in a matter of seconds. This is how it works. Right at the top of this mountain is Machlan Mawr, a lake that provides the water reservoir. Now here's my water reservoir here. The water then runs through a series of pipes until it gets to a great big valve. And when you open that valve, like this, the water runs down and begins to turn my mighty turbine here. And as that spins, look, I'm making electricity. The problem is, though, eventually you run out of water in your reservoir. At that point, what you do is you use electricity from the mains to pump the water back up to the top so that you can do it all over again. The real process starts at Machlan Mawr, the reservoir at the top of the mountain. Underground, in that enormous cave, are the gubbins which officially are the world's fastest response turbine generators, and they're just about to come on stream. This is the main inlet valve, which is opening right now, and it's allowing 60 cubic metres of water per second. You can hear it flowing from the top reservoir through this pipe. The water then spins an enormous turbine in here, which looks a bit like that one over there, which in turn makes this huge drive shaft spin at 500 revolutions per minute. And that makes an electrical generator on the floor above us generate electricity. It takes just 10 seconds for massive amounts of power to surge into the grid, and it can run for 6 hours before the water runs out. But why put it in Snowdonia, one of the most beautiful parts of the UK? Geraint Jones runs the place. So why build a power station inside a mountain?
There aren't many places that you can choose from in the UK where you've got two lakes that are pretty close together, a good vertical separation between those two lakes, and of course then we've got the challenge when we do manage to find a place that fits the bill that we're inside a national park, so it had to be built inside a mountain.
Now it all makes sense. And every time I switch a kettle on, I'll now picture this place. But let's see the last bit of the industrial jigsaw at the foot of the mountain. This is Llyn Peris, where the water finally ends up after it's been through those turbines. And then, in the dead of the night, and this is the clever bit, they pump the water from here back up to the top lake using spare electricity from the grid so that they're ready to start again the next day. They use cheaper nighttime power to produce valuable peak-time electricity. Very ingenious and a true industrial marvel.